guys, it's a beautiful day on the Moldy Cheese Racing Network to start a new series. This is the career of Jim Bob Lowder, and we are playing NASCAR Heat 3, and we're just starting this career from scratch, so we do not have a team that we race for yet, so we are looking for hot seat offers, and we get a chance here to drive the number 36 car at Charlotte Speedway. And we will earn $2,200 for a top 20 finish and a chance to maybe race with this team again. So we're at the dirt track, the Freightliner 100. And obviously this is not the NASCAR series. We are racing on dirt in the number 36 car for this something motorsports team. And we are ready to roll. We started off at position number 22 out of 23, and in all honesty, trying to get a feel. I just did a little bit of practice racing on this track before qualifying. Qualifying didn't go all that well, and we have been passed here. We're down to number 23 out of 23 cars, and honestly, we're just going to hang back a little bit here and try to get a feel for this race car without the added stress of cars all around us. We're just going to hang back. This is a 100 lap race set up in 3 different stages, and right now stage 1 is the first 30 laps. I think stage 2 is the next 30, and stage 3 is the final 40 laps. So our goal is to be in the top 20. That should not be too hard. Obviously we are not there right now. We are in dead last, but we only have those 3 cars up ahead of us, and Martin right ahead of us. That guy sucks, just to get that out of the way. He is not a good driver from the experience that we have early on in this racing series, and you will see that I'm jumping ahead just a little bit. So we are in position number 23 out of 23. We're finally starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with our car. So we're going to get up alongside Martin in that green. Did not catch the number. He is 22nd though, number 64 car, I believe. And again, we kind of nosed up there a little bit and fell back again. Just trying to stay comfortable. I don't want to get into a situation where we're playing bumper cars and pinballing all over the place. I know that's inevitable at some point, but early on in this career, I'm not super comfortable racing 3 wide, and even 2 wide is a little bit for me, especially on this dirt track. So we have passed a couple of cars. We're up to 21st place, finally starting to feel a little bit more at ease. And we are on lap number 7 here in stage number 1. The early going of this marathon race. I like to do these long races. I don't like these 36 lap races or whatever. I want to do, when I get into this NASCAR career, I'm going to do like the full 500 laps or whatever it is. I do the full-on experience. I want every, if it lasts 3 hours, it lasts 3 hours. It is what it is. I'll stay up all night. So we are in 22nd place, and we have just been passed again by Martin. We're jockeying back and forth between 22nd and 23rd with that Martin guy, who is to our left in the green. And we are in 23rd place right now in lap number 9. Still just trying to get a fill. Is it Mark Martin? That wouldn't be Mark Martin. That's somebody else Martin. Maybe it's Mark Martin's kid or his grandkid. I don't know. Mark Martin's old, isn't he? Isn't he pretty old? I don't know racing that well. I think Mark Martin's pretty old. So I don't think he would, unless he just needs the extra cash. He's in this dirt track series. I couldn't tell you. So the 64 car, I would imagine if Mark Martin was racing all these amateurs in this dirt track, he would be eating their lunch probably. So I doubt that's Mark Martin, unless it's a different Mark Martin. Mark Martin's not a very unique name, so it could be a different Mark Martin. It's Mark Martin the younger. The younger Mark Martin, no relation to the older Mark Martin, who is in the NASCAR series. I think he's in the NASCAR series, or is he an F1 driver? I don't know my racing world. So get used to that. I don't know racing to save my life, but I'm playing it anyway. We are in lap number 12. We have moved up to number 20. Stage 1 has 18 laps to go. And we're starting to get used to this track. Starting to understand the turns, the speed we need to be at going into them, as we are jockeying for 19th place with Wilson. Wilson's just to our right. We're making a little bit of contact. Just out here making friends. And we are in 19th place now as we nose ahead of him. And one thing I've learned in this early race is to not be afraid of contact. And I guess on this dirt track, it's much less technical from what I understand. And there's bound to be some contact. I'll tell you one thing coming up here in this episode. When we start getting lapped by the leaders, they make no bones. I think, is that a leader right there that just came past us? In the, I can't tell, that fades in and out. Anyway, we're in 19th place. When the leaders start lapping us, dude, they make no bones about just smashing into people. Like they are, see, look, there you go. There, yeah, I think that's a leader right there, isn't it? Yeah, he just came flying by, just slamming into people. It's like bumper cars at the old Disneyland. Bumper cars aren't at Disneyland, that's the teacups. Bumper cars at your county fair. Y'all have played bumper cars at the county fair back when you were little. I probably way more than the bumper car nowadays. So I can do some serious damage to the car, let alone the other people driving the cars. So we are now up into 16th place. We're going to skip ahead to stage number 2, and then there was 26 laps in stage number 2. I lied and said there were 30. And we're in lap 20 of 26, so we're trying to win this second stage. And by the way, this is the only race that I will do with stages. After this race, I decided I don't like the stages. So we just do the full 100 laps in the next race. So we moved into 15th place. That's well ahead of our goal of 20th. And we have 5 laps to go here in stage number 2. And there is the leader, Brown, who just comes flying past us. And see, he makes some contact there with the car in front of him. Car in front of him doing some blocking. And so the first place leaders, they drive like bats out of hell. And see, there's another one, bat out of hell around the corner, just slamming into me. So I guess maybe that's the way we got to drive. I'm back here being really cautious and you know, trying not to do much damage to my car and all that. But maybe on this dirt track, we just need to go balls out and just kind of plow through people if we have to. To hell with who we leave on the top of their hood. Who knows? So we move into the final stage, and we're in lap 70 of 100. So we have 30 laps to go in this race. We are at 14th place. We started 22nd after qualifying, and we immediately dropped to 23rd. We hung back a little bit, and oh man, now we find a car on its hood. And now we're going to push them back over somehow. That is the 43 car, and they're going to probably be done for the race. I don't know. That did not look good, but that didn't hamper our place. We're still in 14th. Well, I guess we dropped from 14th to 15th, and now we're back up to 14th here with 20 laps to go. That was a little bit crazy. We didn't see that car on its hood until it was too late, slammed into it. Probably did a little bit of damage to our own car, but we are still in the running, and we are 14th out of 23 race cars in this Freightliner 100 from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the dirt track at Charlotte. 82nd lap out of 100, and there's the 43 car dead on the infield, so he is out. And now we are 14th out of 22 remaining drivers. As you see, Brown, the first place car in front of us again. And here is the 8th place Davidson. So we've been lapped a few times. And I kept the car a little bit loose on this dirt track, meaning the back tires will slide around just a little bit on the corners, do a little drifting through the mud and the dirt here. And we are down to 10 more laps in this race, and it will actually call the race after the leader crosses the finish line. And so We likely won't race all 100 laps unless we are in the same lap as the leading car, which we are definitely not. We are number 14 out of number 23. We are lapping the number 17 driver right here. So even though the leaders have lapped us a couple of times, we have lapped some people as well. We have 9 laps to go. Probably 4 or 5 before the leader finishes and ends the race. 16th place Lewis just ahead of us as we lap him. Maybe the first time, maybe the second time. I couldn't tell you at this point how many times we've lapped. But I just know since that's not the 13th place car ahead of us that we have lapped him at least once. So we're on the 93rd lap here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the dirt track, the Freightliner 100. Looking to make $2,200 of cash in this hot seat. We've got a car coming up on our left. That is Lewis again. And Lewis is being a little bit of a douchebag. And look, buddy, even if you pass us, you're still in 16th place. There is no need. And there's Henderson. Henderson's another douchebag. Henderson, we just gave Henderson what he deserved right there. And honestly, that probably pissed Henderson off really bad because he was in 4th place and with 6 laps to go, he was heading towards a top 10 finish. And I don't know if Henderson, if that little tap knocked him out of the top 10, we might have to wait and see. We did not make friends with Henderson in that situation right there. So 95th lap, 96th lap, Henderson is back to our left as he has dropped from 4th down to 7th, so it looks like he will still finish in the top 10, but he was in 4th place. That's going to cost him some money and cost us our friendship with Mr. Henderson. We're in the 96th lap. The lead cars should be passing. They do. And we finished the Freightliner 100 with a 14th place finish. And you know what? For our first race ever in NASCAR Heat 3, I'll take it. A middle-of-the-pack 14th place finish. Most laps led, Ryan Glovka. He does get the win. Brady Davidson started 19th. He finished 8th. Daniel Britton was the 43 car. He finished 23rd, started 5th, and he's the one that was on his hood when we slammed into him. So that is race number 1 in the career of Jim Bob Lowder.